Hello, everyone. Welcome to our today's webinar. Thank you for joining. It's good to see you connecting and joining in. My name is Jana. I'm the product marketing specialist here at Innovatrix, and I will be your host for today's webinar, which will be dedicated today to our latest innovation, mobile palm verification, or contactless palm verification on mobile phones. To be more precise, while I was preparing for this webinar, I noticed some new names on the attendee list. So let me start with a short description or a few words about our company first. So Innovatrix is an independent provider of biometric solutions for governments and enterprises. We've been developing our algorithms since 2004 and are based in Bratislava, Slovakia, which means for almost 20 years now, we've been delivering more than 600 projects around the world in more than 80 countries. And last but not least, from my side, I would like to introduce you today's speakers. So if you join our webinars regularly, you probably know well my colleague Victor, the product manager for identity verification solutions. And apart from him, today Marian Yazbec, our Chief Revenue Officer, is also joining us today. So yeah, I think that's it from my side. We can move on to the real content. So
perfect.
Marian,
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you all. I'm glad that you are having a session with us. Today we would like to introduce you definitely new things what we developed. So in terms of what is our agenda for today, together with Victor and Jane as well, it's our palm biometric modality. We will definitely describe what is available on the market, where we would like to really fit, and what's our maybe also unique selling proposition for you as a partners. Then we would like to also discuss use cases, because maybe as palm is quite new modality on the market as well, what are the use cases for palm verification? Usually people are expecting some demonstration to visualize also use cases and see how that really works. And the last but not least, definitely, it's also how the components can be used from technical point of view, and how you could potentially integrate palm verification as part of IDV toolkit for your specific use cases in your use cases inside of your specific vertical, for example. So let's start first with what is available on the market. I would like to start with traditional palm scanners. Usually what that means is you have three types of palm scanners available on the market right now. One is palm vein scanner, which is using infrared technologies to detect unique veins patterns inside of your hand and recognize you as humankind, as a person, and identify your hand with, for example, specific bank account. Usually, very similarly, it's used for palm payments. Maybe that's a very popular technology there. There is another one, which is 3D palm scanning, which is more taking and capturing all the shapes of your hand, and usually it's used for authentication, for access control systems. And the last from traditional, it's palm print scanning. You might know those big devices where you need to really put and press the palm on the top. Sometimes you need to use also another hand to really make a pressure and make sure that really the texture is really visible for your entire hand. So these three are using specific hardware dedicated to palm scanning. While our innovation, it's going more to mobile phones. We selected mobile as kind of hardware, which is scalable, because of course you can imagine that there are 120% penetration across the world of the mobile phone and smartphones. So it's easy to use. Usually even verticals like banks, telcos, they are using mobile phones with their application, so they can easily use mobile phone with a camera as a scanner And what's the difference comparing to other three technologies? We are really utilizing and scanning the skin texture to identify or verify specific user with the hand. Of course, there are multiple cases where you could use two hands or you could potentially combine modalities together. We can discuss it later. You might also see on the top that there is, of course, also CCTV as a scanner. That's just a teasing for you for future. We would like to also prepare a specific webinar for identification use cases, as today webinar is dedicated to only verification use cases. And to tackle also that topic, how potentially identify hands in a one-to-many search as well. But this is for teasing and for next coming webinars. So stay tuned, please. We could go to also maybe comparison to how the traditional hardwares and phones or CCTV solution could potentially work, and why Innovatrix selected really mobile first kind of approach. We see that very easily that even mobile payments, for example, with the hardware or some scanners needs to be really distributed across states, across the retail networks, while mobile phones, usually everyone has mobile phones. So your application with a mobile phone and camera can be switched to specific use case and can be used for palm scanning. What is also key to mention that there is really no specific hardware required, and we can really check the surface and texture of your hand, as I was saying. It's touchless, so even if there would be another pandemic situation, you don't need to touch anything. It's just really touchless, scan the hand. And it's cost effective in the end, because as there is no hardware, there is no distribution, you just develop the app, you share it on App Store, you download it, you use it. It's easy to really spread that kind of new use case across your customers. You might be asking as well, what are the use cases which maybe I should use in terms of palm verification? We selected maybe top 6. There are definitely plenty, and I'm sure that there will be also good positive feedback as well from you to find other use cases. But first one is second factor authentication, where you can of course verify and identify by pairing username and the palm the user. So you can use, instead of authentication application, you can use palm as a second modality. You can have also password reset, which is maybe a very popular one. And we can see that as well, that a lot of banks are using, for example, password reset with the face. Could be used with palm as well for password reset. So you don't need to remember your dog's name or your cat's name. You just need to hand with you, which usually you have. Of course, there is also passwordless solution, which is even better than maybe the renewal of the password, because let's imagine that you would like to log into application, you use your palm and you are in. That's amazing. So how many times you really forget your username and password, but your hand is still with you, even if you don't remember anything. There is also biometric captcha, where you can really confirm if you are really humankind, because as we are living in the world where every second person on internet is really AI or a robot. So in this case, we can really confirm by using the palm or if you are you and if you are a humankind as well. The fifth one might sound like identification, access management, but in this case, we use that as an example by using, for example, badge together with a palm or pin together with a palm. There are certain areas, I can give you example. I have been on the airport, they lost my luggage and I could get in by just using, nothing, but in the end, if there are some restricted areas, so you can say there is a pin and there is a palm verification, so nobody else can really access specific territory. So you can whitelist or blacklist as well. So those people who doesn't provide a palm scan cannot be, the doors cannot be open for them, for example. There is the last one, which is very popular as well for bank transfer payments. Usually, if you have maybe small payments, just your PIN code or face is required. But usually, if there is a threshold, for example, 100 euro or 1,000 euro, you would like to really use some kind of verification of that transaction. And palm it looks to us and for banks as a really good modality to verify the palm, because you can also bring a consent that you are you, and you can verify the payment. And it's easier than to use maybe SMS token, copy and paste SMS token, or even, I would say, use some kind of readers where you need to really have like a two mobile application, one where you get a token and authorize the payment, which is not very user-friendly for users. If we would go to benefits, I have been saying a lot of things, but just to summarize all those positive things, which we see as well, it's security. So usually your face is everywhere. So to remove your face from internet, impossible almost. With a palm, even if you are on the LinkedIn with your hands up and they can see your palm, they don't see your texture. So impossible to see. There is also kind of privacy thing. People are okay-ish with palm and provide palm and scan the palm, comparing maybe face or permanent ID. So if you would like to first do the onboarding and then maybe verification only with the palm and not use face, that's alternative options to feel your customers better, to use also biometric inside of your applications and use cases. There is also consent. So usually, if you would use palm, you are giving some kind of consent, because with a face, somebody could potentially scan your face, but with a hand, you need to really put the hand the right direction where the camera is. So you are giving some kind of consent to the specific vendor or retail or access. So you are providing your hand and saying, yes, I'm okay to transfer the money or to open the door or something else. And what is, I think, key as well, as you might be asking as well, what's the accuracy? Accuracy, it's definitely better than the single fingerprint. And you can imagine that we are using just a camera or from mobile phone. So these are all the benefits. Of course, there will be chance to follow up that, of course, afterwards, if you have anything. So reach out, of course, to sales@innovatrix.com. If you have any follow-up questions, we will be more than glad to discuss your use cases, opportunities, and even concerns if there are any.
I will demonstrate the new components in the IDB toolkit and its usage. First, we will describe how an authentication scenario would look like. There are two steps to it. So first, when you are onboarding or enrolling a new client into your solution, after you have verified him, you would ask him to provide images of both of his palms, left and right. So you would get these as images that you would store into your database to this account. And then in the next step, whenever the next time you need this user to verify himself, you would ask him again to take the picture of his palm, and you would match this against the left and right palm. And if any of these two comparison would be a match, you know that the person is authenticated. So it's pretty simple as that. And now let's have a demonstration for this. I will be demonstrating the functionality on our Innovatrix.application that you can download yourself from the app stores. Here you have the QR codes for that. And in this application, we have a palm verification function. This has two steps. In the first step, we will be enrolling the user by taking image of his palm. So I enroll my left palm, and now we're demonstrating the second step when the person is being authenticated. So now I'll be scanning a palm to be matched against the palm which is stored in the database. In the first try, I will use a different palm, my right palm. This will simulate a fraudster that will try to steal my account. And here we can see that this comparison has failed, so it was not accepted. I will try again, and this time my left palm. And as we will see here, the comparison has matched. So you can see that the user is authenticated, even the light conditions are different, and still it is a match. So this is how it works, and you can try it in our demo application. Let's describe how the components are working. So on the client side, we have the capture components, which is mobile and for web. So there is a capture component for Android, for iOS, and also for the web-based solutions in the browser. And the usage of this component is the same as the face auto capture component, which you might probably know already. So there is auto capture fragment for Android or view controller for iOS. This one is displaying the video stream from the back camera of the mobile phone, and this then captures the image of the palm, which is best suitable for the comparison on the server. Of course, these components have prevention of video injection, so they are creating an encrypted data format for the server with some camera metadata to prevent also injection. On the side of the server, we have new Palms API. This is in the digital identity service since the version 1.44. We have the API is designed the same way as our existing Faces API. So there are 3 calls that will be interesting. One is to first upload the palm, then is the comparison call, which is called similarity. There you upload the reference palm from the database that you would compare against the new uploaded palm. And the third is the inspect endpoint, where we return the detection of the video injection. And in the future, there will be also a palm liveness result on this. Concerning the similarity, it's easy. This returns the similarity score, and you just need to compare it to the threshold 0.5. Everything about it means that the palms are matching. If you want to find out more, we have a public documentation. In there, we have a palm use case webpage where you can find all the information about the auto capture. You have the link to the technical documentation of the auto capture components. And you have also comparison for documentation for the server. And of course, if you want to try it out, download our demo application.